Well, the Bucks take game three. That's still down the series 2-1, but it was an absolutely dominant performance from the Bucks in game three to in a really a must-win game for them. They realized what was at stake here, and they went in. They went hard. They got the win, and now they're still down 2-1, but they're on the board now. Because I think if the Suns would have won this game, going up 3 in the series, no team in NBA Finals has ever come back from being down over to 3. I think if the Suns won this game, it would have really been the end for the Bucks. But the Bucks show fighting spirit behind Giannis, who drops 40 points once again. First time in his career going back to back for 40 points, and what a time to get in the finals, no less. And he really inspires his team to get a win here. Now, in game two, Giannis also had 40 plus points, but he didn't have any support from his second and third guy in Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. But this time, they both came to play because because let me just go through the stats here to at the start. Giannis finished with 41 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, 13 of 7 from the line, which is extremely good. Every time he went to the line, the entire arena was silent. You could have heard a pin drop. And it looks like when, you don't have 20,000 people counting and shouting at him, he could actually be pretty good at the line when it's quiet, and he could concentrate and focus because he hit down 13 of them, which was huge. Drew Holiday, like I said, 21, 9, and 5. 5 of 10 from 3. He really kind of was one of the main guys who helped blow open the game in the third quarter. Well, we'll talk about that just now, but yeah. And Chris Middleton has a bounce back game. Yeah, he finishes with 18, 6, and 7. So a really good bounce back game by the quote unquote big three in Milwaukee. Now, looking over to the Suns side of things, it is kind of bad. Mikal Bridges, after having two incredibly good games in his finals, he finally has a off game. He only finishes with 4 points. He didn't hit a three. He only had two. He was 50% from the field, no threes. Yeah, really poor game from him. Jay Crowder, on the other hand, who what I consider one of the greatest role players they have, he finished with 18 points. He actually had a tremendous game, 6 or 7 from 3, which is 85% from 3, 18 points. Incredible. And he played solid defense, but Giannis was just unstoppable tonight. And we'll get to Giannis. But yeah, Jay Crowder, he did really good. You can talk some more him. He had a really good game. DeAndre Ayton, he had a relatively good game, 18 points. How many rebounds did he finish with? He finished with 9 rebounds, so very below par in terms of the rebounded numbers for DeAndre Ayton, but that's just, I think Giannis had a lot to do with that because Giannis had, 13 rebounds, so yeah. Devin Booker had by far and away his worst game probably in the playoffs since probably the regular season. He only finished with 10 points. He had a really bad shooting night, 1 of 7 from 3, 3 of 14 from the field. That's rough from your starting shooting guard, his star shooting guard. He finally has a cool down after his 31 points explosion in game 2. What's interesting is we'll get to this when we're talking about the end of the game. But I don't think he played at all in the fourth quarter because he was just having such a bad shooting night. The coach took him out. It was probably just because, he was tired. So just, the coach kind of, by the time we got to the fourth quarter, it was like a 22-point lead. So the coach kind of realized, this game probably lost. Let me just rest Devin Booker. We'll bounce back in game 4. That's probably the mentality behind that decision. But yeah, like I said, 10 points, 1 of 7 from 3, 3 or 14 from the field. Yeah, just a bad night for Devin Booker. Same thing with Chris Paul. He had 19 points, 9 assists. He shot bad as well, 8 of 14 from the field, 1 of 5, 1 of 4 actually from the 3-point line. Cam Johnson off the bench, he was pretty good. He had a huge, if I can find the clip, I'll play it up right now. But he had a huge monster dunk on PJ Tucker, I believe it was, where he just absolutely put him on a poster. He just ran straight through him. And yeah, so and Cam Johnson heated up in the third quarter as well, I believe. He was kind of keeping the Suns in it at certain points. Torrey Craig only had 2 points. He obviously had that terrible looking injury in game 2. He was okay. There was no structural damage when he went for the MRI, but he only played like 13, 14 minutes. Unfortunately, we had to see, I have the number right there, 12 and a half Frank Kaminsky minutes. Frank the Tank, not really a guy you want to be having that many minutes when you're playing in the finals, because it can be a terrible thing because he is bad at defense, but I understand why. Because Darius Saric is injured and because Torrey Craig, you probably want to, give him a little minutes restrictions because he is still, because it is, his leg still is kind of not 100%, but you don't want to run him into the ground so early. And yeah, so, but like that's enough about the Suns. Let's get to the Bucks. The Bucks, they started this game really well. Giannis he started the game off with like 2 or 3 assists because he was being a very aggressive offensive facilitator. So what I mean by that is he would, body down low into the paint, and then he would get 1 or 2 guys on him, and then when they have their hands up, trying to prevent them from jumping up, he just pass the ball behind somebody making the back cut, and they just get easy layup. And that's really how it started. Chris Paul and DeAndre was keeping the Suns in it at the start of the game, but yeah, there was just no really hope for the Suns going into the in the second quarter because the start of the second quarter they had 2 quick turnovers. Middleton had an and one and got his first free throw of the finals, which he converted. And yeah, I think at this point Chris Middleton had like 10 points, and they were starting to look kind of ropey for the Suns, but the Suns go on a little run. I think they open up to like a 7-8 point lead, but then the Bucks reply, and then the Bucks go up by 1, and this is where Frank Kaminsky goes into the game for the first time, and the Bucks go on a huge run. They go up by 10. Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Bobby Portis had this really nice playing transition where Bobby Portis got the block. Drew Holiday had like a behind the back pass to Chris Middleton back to Drew Holiday lobbed it up kind of to Bobby Portis to finish the play. So yeah, that was just really beautiful. It was a kind of nice reply to the 10 pass move the Suns had in the previous game. But yeah, the Bucks go on a good 10-0 run, I believe, to close out the second quarter, and they went into the half up by 15. And this is if you compare the halftime stats of the Stars this game to game 2, you can see why the Bucks are up this time instead of trailing, because Chris Middleton has 15 points at half. I believe he had only 7 points or 4 points in the second quarter in game 2. So yeah, Chris Middleton came to play, and the Bucks were up by 15 going into the half. Now, and the story of the first half for Phoenix was more like shots just weren't falling. The again good looks again, the shots up, but they just don't have the luck. The shots just rolling out, the rim in and out, and it's just one of those nights where the shots weren't falling for Phoenix, and that reflects on Devin Booker's stat, which I mentioned earlier. Yeah, so to start the third quarter, Phoenix go really small. They put Jay Crowder at the 5, so what the Bucks do, they respond with that. They go small as well. They put Giannis at the 5 and surround him with his shooters. The Suns, this is where they kind of let the game go because they went on a zone defense, and when you're playing a zone defense, the Miami Heat played a really good zone defense in last year's playoff, but the thing they did it against the Bucks, and it was successful for them because the Bucks didn't have good shooters. The Bucks had Eric Bledsoe last year. This year they have Drew Holiday, who, despite struggling so far in the finals, he came to play, especially in the third quarter. He hit like 3 3-pointers and back-to-back plays. Even though Cameron Johnson was Jay Crowder was responding with threes as well. The Bucks just couldn't stop score. The Bucks just couldn't miss. Sorry, Drew Holiday just couldn't miss. Just kept knocking on the threes, and the lead just kept growing and growing and growing. And Frank Kaminsky came in a lot, and he, like I said, not good at defense. The Suns needed a stop. They bring in Frank Kaminsky. That's never going to work, and the Bucks really run away with this game because at one point they go up by the Suns actually they were fighting in this game, but this was really early in the third quarter. They cut the lead to 4 and something, and the crowd got quiet. But that's when Drew Holiday starts to heat up and hit all them threes, and they went from a 4-point lead up to like a 22-point lead to end the third quarter because the Bucks went on a 16-0 run to end the third quarter for like the last 4 or 5 minutes of the quarter. And if you're going a 4 to 5 minute drought where you just can't score, chances are you're going to lose the game. And yeah, like I said, it's just one of those nights where the Bucks were just dominating. The Suns couldn't stop them, and the Suns, their shots just weren't falling tonight. And yeah, I don't know the exact stat what the Suns finished with because like I said, I started this recorded a few minutes before the game done. The game finished by now, but last time I checked, the Suns was 7 of 24 from 3. and they had 14 turnovers. Very uncharacteristic of the Suns. Like I said, these shots weren't falling, but take nothing away from the Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo. This was probably the closest thing to 2000 Shaq we've seen since 2000 Shaq. We've never seen a player dominate purely like Giannis has since Shaq. Giannis needs to be considered now in the group of players that are just simply unguardable. You know, the likes of Shaq and those guys that you just can't guard and they'll just dominate down no matter what you do. Yeah, that's just really what Giannis is looking like. And if he keeps this hyperextended knee means nothing to him at this point. That's far behind him because he doesn't look like somebody who had that serious looking of an injury not too long ago. And yeah, he just dominating, just feasting. He becomes, I believe, the fifth or sixth player to record back-to-back 40-point games in the finals. He joins a list of LeBron James, who did it in 2016, Shaq, like I said, Shaquille O'Neal, who did it in 2000, Michael Jordan, Rick Barry, and Jerry West. And now Giannis are among those names, and that's just a lead company to be in, especially for the finals. But yeah, just to wrap it up really quickly there, yeah. Giannis dominates, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton came to play. The shots weren't falling for the Phoenix Suns. The Bucks took advantage of that. The Bucks dominated. The Bucks got the win. Giannis is insane. The Suns still up 2-1. The Suns, like I said, the shots weren't falling for them, but I expect them to bounce back and take Game 4 and Game 5. So yeah, but still a very much needed win for the Bucks when their backs were against the wall. So full credit to the Bucks. Yeah, the series is now 2-1. If you guys missed the video I did earlier on the Euros, be sure to check it out, as well as the UFC 264 show I did covering the entire thing. It's about an hour long. It's kind of like a podcast, a audio kind of podcast thing. Hopefully, you guys like that. Yeah, Game 4 will be Wednesday, I believe. So yeah, I'll catch you guys Wednesday night. Yeah, be sure to like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, guys, bye.